A man named Ned from Orlando calls into a prayer line worried about hurricanes, tornadoes, and meteors hitting Orlando due to the city celebrating homosexuality. Ned believes everything that TV evangelist Pat Robertson says, and Robertson predicted Orlando would be punished. Ned has locked himself in his basement out of fear and is running low on food, but afraid to leave. The prayer line host tries to reassure Ned that God will protect him and he has no reason to fear, but Ned remains convinced Orlando will be destroyed. Ned asks if his $20 prayer cloth will protect him from meteors and what he should do with it. The host prays with Ned to cast out demons and asks God to witness to Ned. At the end, Ned seems still afraid and mentions demons, hobos, and wanting God to hook up the meteors. Pat Robertson is an American televangelist and former presidential candidate known for making controversial claims and predictions about natural disasters being caused by certain groups or behaviors. The prayer line host tries to reassure Ned that God is protecting Orlando and won't punish the city, going against what Robertson predicted. She tells Ned fear doesn't come from God. Ned seems to genuinely believe Robertson's prediction and is very worried, though his specific fears about food being poisoned seem irrational. The host prays for God to witness to Ned, likely meaning she prays Ned will come to understand God's message of love rather than fear or punishment. Ned's final comments about demons, hobos, and meteors suggest he may still be struggling with irrational or paranoid fears despite the host's reassurances. The transcript presents an example of how some evangelical predictions can cause fear and anxiety in susceptible believers, even when religious leaders try to offer a calmer perspective. Pat Robertson has a history of making controversial claims linking natural disasters to behaviors he disapproves of. This has been criticized as promoting harmful stereotypes. Ned seems to represent some evangelical Christians who take predictions literally without questioning sources. This can reinforce fears and anxieties. The prayer line host tries reasoning with Ned rationally and biblically rather than engaging his specific fears directly. This shows an effort to redirect his perspective. Ned's concerns about food poisoning suggest a level of paranoia beyond just believing predictions. Underlying mental health issues may be a factor in his response. The prayer seems aimed at addressing any spiritual, demonic influences exacerbating Ned's fears, not just reassuring him logically. This implies a holistic approach. That Ned remains troubled even after prayer indicates the depth of fear instilled and challenges of dispelling irrational beliefs once rooted. The transcript highlights tensions that can arise between literalist and more nuanced theological approaches to interpreting prophecy, disasters. It's an example of how religion intersects with politics and cultural issues, both positively through the host and negatively via Robertson's influence on Ned.